Have I ever even touched this game? I don't know. They're all the fucking same.
Yeah. So my number 15 or whatever number this ends up being game, however long the list is my first ever home console game. I got a PS2, which, funny enough, came out on my birthday in 2001, 2002.
My first home console game was Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase.
Which is a great game and a great Scooby-Doo movie. Dude, I fucking love that movie so much.
Bro, we just did a Scooby-Doo escape room yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah. It's like, there's a escape place right by the Portillo's and like the Home Depot, by me. Yeah. Yeah, it was a Scooby-Doo one. We got an hour to do it, and we got out at 58 minutes.
Woo!
So it was a buzzer beater. We almost got possessed by a ghost.
Zoinks.
Zoinks is right.
Yeah. So my first, I got a PS2 for one of my birthdays. It wasn't my birthday the year that it came out, but it was one of them after. And I had been begging for a PlayStation 2 for whatever reason. I think I just wanted a home console, but I didn't want a GameCube, even though I probably should have gotten a GameCube, because in retrospect I could have played a lot of exclusive games that I probably would have loved. But
dude, the story behind my PS1 is kind of funny. Because my cousin gave me a PS1 and a shitload, like, random ass games for one of my birthdays. And I was like, cool. And a couple, like, maybe a year or two later, I was at that cousin's house, talking to his sister, which was also my cousin. And she was like, oh, you want to play some games? I'm like, sure. He's like, I think I got like Scooby-Doo or something. And she couldn't find it. And then she kept listing other games, and I was like, oh, those are games I have? So it turns out her brother took her PS1 and the games and gave it to me for my birthday. Oh, man.
How did that end? Did she ever find out?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I asked him. I was like, did you give me her PS1? He's like, why'd you have to say anything? No, I mean, I didn't give it back or anything. It was just kind of a funny moment. But my first console ever was a re-gifted system.
Dang. That's I mean, props to your cousin for handling that so under the radar.
Yeah.
Like, was it wrapped and everything?
I don't remember that much, cuz I mean, literally that was fuck. I don't even know what year that was, but like it was probably before the PS2 even came out.
Would be. Yeah, I think the PS2 came out in 2001. I think it was October 26th, 2001.
Okay, it might have been like 2003 or something. It wasn't that long ago, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But so I got a PS2, and my parents didn't know what game to get me because, I had only played Game Boy games up until that point. I liked movie tie-in games. Developers were making a lot of movie tie-in games in like the 2000s. Up until I think like Cars 2, I think was the last PS2 game ever made, or the last Wii game or something like that.
Wow.
Which is a movie tie-in game, or Cars 3. Can't remember.
Because I know like the phase 1 of MCU got like movie games too.
Yeah, there was an Iron Man game, there was Iron Man 2, there was a Captain America game, there was a Thor game.
And there was that fucking piece of shit Hulk game. I fucking hated that game.
Oh,
it was
Incredible
like a
Hulk.
bootleg version of Ultimate Destruction. It pissed me off. I hated it. I was so upset.
I remember playing that too.
It's the first game I ever was like super disappointed in.
Yeah.
Because
Hulk was your man. Hulk was your guy.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, we'll get to him, I don't know,
at some
in
point.
like 8 fucking months.
We'll have to see.
Sucks.
But yeah, so when I opened up the PS2 for the first time, not only did I shit my pants, but I also pissed my pants, because then I opened up my first game, and my first game was Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, as you probably saw in the title. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 is at the bottom for the same reason that Third Eye Blind is at the bottom. Objectively, there are better fighting games and there are better Dragon Ball Z games. But damn it, I sunk so many hours into Budokai 2 in the story mode, in the arcade mode. That was back when instead of buying characters, you had to unlock them.
I remember those days. Wow.
Yeah, dude, you had to complete challenges in the game that would get you these characters. You had to go through the story mode multiple times and go down, because essentially story mode relived all of the moments from Dragon Ball Z, because they didn't have any GT yet in the game, so I only knew about Dragon Ball Z. But I learned all of those characters' names, I learned all of the transformations, I learned all of the fusions, all of the names of the techniques through playing that game. And I had only ever seen Dragon Ball Z in snippets on like Toonami on accident, because I did not like watching Toonami. I thought it was too scary. I didn't want anything to do with it. But I started getting into Dragon Ball Z, and this game was a huge reason why. And it had it was like a shiny like artwork, you know. So like it had the artwork. It had like the 3 characters in the front. It had Majin Buu like in the background, the imposing figure, Vegito, Gotenks, and Gohan, I think, were like on the cover. And it was like holographic, and it was so sick. And I remember opening it up for the first time. I remember taking it to my friends' houses, and I put my yellow memory card, my 8 terabyte, you know, or whatever memory card, like in the little memory card slot in the PS2 case. And yeah, we would I would spend hours like putting different moves and transformations into your like skill boxes, you know, like, because if you played as Goku, you couldn't like do all of the techniques and all of the transformations, right? Like each technique and transformation had a certain amount of slots that it took up, and you had to build your character based on how many slots you wanted to use. So like if you wanted to use Kaioken and like Kamehameha and like Dragon Throw, like that would take up the same amount of slots as like Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2. And if you wanted to go Super Saiyan 3, you had to have the previous 2 Super Saiyans already in your character slot. So it was like just playing around with all of these different variables. And there were gag fusions in there. Like you could fuse Tien and Yamcha in that game. You could fuse Hercule and Goku in that game. Yeah, and then Majin Buu could absorb Frieza. Majin Buu could absorb Cell. So there were like what if transformations. So finding all of those out were really fun. And then they had like the beam struggles where you would have to like jiggle the analog stick like as fast as you could to like build up a spirit bomb or to like beat your opponent in like a beam struggle. And I remember by the time you got to Kid Buu, I lost to Kid Buu so much. I hate Kid Buu. I hated Kid Buu at the time. I hate him now. Because he was a son of a bitch to beat. But yeah, I spent so much time in that game.
Did you ever beat him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I beat the story mode a couple of times after that, because you just, like in most fighting games, you just learned that you have to spam certain moves over and over. And yeah, it was a super formative part of my life. And I was just a kid, dude. I might have been like 7 or 8 when I first played Budokai 2. And I would get so many other PS2 games after that, but I always kept going back to Budokai 2. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I still have it.
Yeah, this was way before the time I got into Dragon Ball, because I only got into it like 4 years ago now. But like, yeah, Nick, fucking other friend Josh, just like worshipped this shit. So like I knew a couple things about Dragon Ball, but it wasn't until a couple years where I like really started to know. I never played this fucking... I mean, maybe I played it, but I think all these Dragon Ball games are kind of the same. It's just like, you just do the moves and then there you go. I mean, the new Kakarot game is like an RPG, so that's kind of different. But yeah, all these games are just fighting games. It's like, I don't know. For someone like me, I don't know the difference. But yeah, there's a couple games I'm not going to talk about that didn't make my list officially, like Uncharted 2, Mario Odyssey, Zelda Link Between Worlds, and Pokemon Fire Red, which we talked about Fire Red. But those are other games. Uncharted's just a really good story. Odyssey's really fun, and Link Between the Worlds is just good stuff. But yeah, I won't talk about them. Do you have it?
I don't have it.
Damn.
Yeah.
For shame.
I have a couple of my old PS2 games on in this apartment, but I don't know where Budokai 2 went. I do, however, even if I don't have the case and the game for it, I do have the strategy guide from Budokai 2, and let me tell you, dude, this had it had a limited edition DVD. I don't know where the DVD went, but it has Dragon Ball GT episode 43, and it has the Yu Yu Hakusho Tournament's End Super trailer. Don't know what the fuck that was. But yeah, dude,
GT
I remember
episode 43.
Yeah, which episode was that?
The Resurrection of Cell and Frieza.
Oh.
Oh, he's in hell, probably with those dancing dumbasses.
Yeah, that's probably exactly it.
Yeah, that's during the Super 17 part. Like, all 3 episodes that was.
Oh, dude, I didn't even know. They have fan art in the back of this?
Yeah.
Like, they have... Strategy guides are so cool, dude. I know they still sometimes make them, but, like...
No, I think they're dead. Or at least that company's dead.
Like,
Prima.
I can't tell you how often I would go into this strategy guide and pick artwork to try to draw. Like, that's my favorite part about strategy guides, is just finding images to draw, because I drew a lot as a kid. I don't know if we've ever really talked about that on the podcast, but yeah, they have all of these categories for like characters in the back. They had different colors, like color variations that people could wear. They had all of the combos. They have who voices the characters. I don't know if I've ever actually taken a good look at this thing as an adult.
All right, Nick, but yeah, we're about to hit an hour, so. And I have a minute and a half before my camera shuts off.
Oh, man. Well, I have more to say.
Tough luck.
What do you mean, tough luck?
Tough luck. Well, this is going to be me signing off. You can finish it solo.
Like, check this out. This is... being struck by one Kamehameha isn't a pleasant experience. Getting pounded ruins anybody's day. Goten's chief move is the continuous Kamehameha. It's not overly spectacular, but it does get the job done. You would miss little tidbits like that just for the sake of going to sleep tonight? Huh? I could go on for hours and hours.
I would, actually, yes.
Anyway, this was a really fun game, and I am going to spend the rest of my night looking through this strategy guide, because honestly, it's bringing back a lot of really good memories.